everybody. Meg here. I think we're live. I'm just gonna wait about 1 minute before we get started with our yoga class tonight. My cats are being really calm right now, so we'll see if that lasts. All right, it's 5 o'clock, so we'll get started. If you have a yoga block, I would grab that. If you don't, just grab a small pillow or even a pillow from your bed will work. There's a pose at the end of class that we're going to use it for. So just something to prop yourself up on. So pillow, block, even a rolled up blanket would work. Class today is definitely heavy on the hips. I know I've been sitting a lot and not moving quite as much, probably less than I would like to admit. So we're going to get into the hips and into the legs, but in a pretty mellow way. Nothing too strenuous. But that being said, definitely take class at your pace. So whether that means up leveling or down leveling, just listen to your body and do what feels necessary and good in your own being. So we'll get started in a wide leg child's pose. So coming onto all fours, bring your knees wide and let your big toes touch, and then just start to sink your hips down to your heels. Reach your arms out long in front of you. Let your palms land, fingertips spread wide, and then your forehead will release to the earth. Just taking a few moments here to land on your mat, to land in the moment, to bring your awareness into your body. Notice the way that your breath moves through your body. As your back body expands with each inhale, and then a softening and a release into the earth with each exhale. I always like to kind of just roll my forehead from side to side, rolling along my third eye and maybe rocking into the hips a little bit. If there's any wiggles or movements along that same vein that you like to take, feel free. And with your next inhale, start to walk your hands over to the right, rooting your left hip down, so using it as an anchor as you lengthen your left fingertips long, maybe even placing your left palm on top of your right palm. Breathing length up and down your left side body, keeping your forehead relaxed and easy on the earth. Releasing any tension in the jaw. And slowly walk your hands back through center and over to the left. This time rooting your right sitting bone down, lengthening your right fingertips long, maybe laying your right palm on top of your left. Not necessary. And then just breathing up and down your right side body. Slowly walking your hands back to center, landing once more with a neutral spine, just resting here for a few more breaths. And slowly start to press yourself up to tabletop. Walk your knees in, so your knees are going to be stacked over your hips and your shoulders stacked over your wrists. We'll find a few cat-cows here just to warm up the spine. So as you inhale, let the belly drop, pull the chest through the shoulders, and your gaze lifts. And exhale as you press the floor away, round the spine, tuck the tailbone, and draw your chin towards your chest. Inhale, drop the belly, gaze lifts, cow pose. And exhale, curl in, release your chin towards your chest for cat. And just continue here with a few more rounds of breath. Whatever other intuitive movements you like to take, maybe rolling out your hips, rolling your shoulders over your wrists, maybe pausing, breathing an extra breath or two in a particular pose. Just starting to really tap into your wisdom, the wisdom of your own being. It's different than anybody else's. So how do you listen to what you need in your body? And with your next inhale, come to a neutral spine and find stillness. Keeping your left hand planted where it is, lift your right hand up and plant your fingertips to the left corner of your mat. And take an inhale here as you press into your fingertips, lengthen your spine, and then exhale, release your chest and your forehead down to the earth. We'll stay here for a few breaths, so you should feel a nice stretch in your right side. I think I probably set it up so it sounded like we were doing thread the needle, so sorry, that's not this pose. Think puppy dog with a side stretch. And any open mouth exhales that want to come out, any sighs, audible noises, feel free. Press yourself back up, coming into tabletop. Leave your right hand where it is. This time walk your left palm over to the top right corner of your mat. Press into your fingertips as you inhale. Find length in your side body. And then exhale, release your chest, release your forehead, descend all the way to earth. Deep, slow breaths. And with your next inhale, press yourself back up. Coming into tabletop, take one round of cat-cow here to neutralize the spine. So as you inhale, belly drops, gaze lifts. And exhale, press the floor away, round the spine. Inhale, back to neutral spine. Straighten your left leg out, coming onto the ball of your left foot. And just slowly rock forward and back. Feeling a little bit of stretch in your calf. And then also really noticing your toes. So getting some stretch in your toe as well. Just starting to wake up the backs of our legs. And then switch, release your left knee. Let your right leg land long, coming onto the ball of your right toe, your right foot, and rock forward and back, nice and slow. Keeping your focus on your breath, nice fluid inhales and exhales. Eventually come into stillness, lift your left knee, step your left foot to meet your right, plank pose. And then elbows bend as you slowly descend your chest and your forehead to the earth. Untuck your toes and bring your fingertips wide outside of your mat. So you're on your fingertips and your elbows point to the sky. As you inhale, press into your fingertips, lift your heart, broaden through your chest. So it's a wide cobra. Exhale, release forehead to mat. We'll do that again. Inhale as you lift up. But this time as you exhale, drop your right shoulder and look over your left. So a little shoulder dip. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, dip your left shoulder, look over your right. And inhale, back to center, broaden through your chest once more. Maybe your gaze lifts. And exhale, release everything to the earth. Walk your palms under your shoulders. As you inhale, press up to all fours and sink your hips back to child's pose. Just for a breath here, keeping your toes tucked. And then slowly start to make your way to downward facing dog. So tucking your toes, lifting your hips up and back. Finding any movement here for the first few breaths, any wiggles, any leg movements you want to take, maybe straightening one knee while you bend the other and then switching, maybe rocking your hips from side to side. Again, just tapping into the intuitive intelligence that is your body. Making sure there's no tension in your neck, so your head releasing heavy to the earth. Shoulders roll away from your ears. And eventually come into stillness in your downward facing dog. And inhale, sweep your right leg up and back. Bend your knee as you open your hip. So your right knee pulling towards the sky as your right foot pulls towards your glute. Keeping your weight evenly distributed in your hands and your shoulders. Maybe rolling your ankle or rolling your knee, opening up your hip. And then straighten your right leg, release your right foot to the earth. Inhale as your left leg sweeps up and back, bend your knee, open your hip. So left knee drawing towards the sky, left foot towards your right glute. And again, any movements with the ankle or the knee and the hip. Inhale, straighten your right or your left leg, release left foot to earth. Take a deep inhale here, downward facing dog. Open your mouth, release, exhale. And then slowly start to walk your feet towards your hands to the front of the mat, finding a forward fold of your choosing once you arrive. Keeping your knees pretty bent for this first one, although her legs are probably pretty warmed up already. If you want to grab for opposite elbows, finding a ragdoll. Just letting every breath cycle soften and release your body a little bit more. Release any grip that you might have with your hands. And slowly roll yourself all the way up to standing. Bringing your arms up overhead, let your palms touch. And then exhale, release your hands through midline to your heart center. Just taking a breath or two here, maybe closing your eyes. Feeling into your feet. Feeling into the strong roots. Release your hands. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale as you cactus your arms. Open your chest towards the sky, baby back bend. Inhale, reach up, neutral spine. And then exhale, hinge at your hips, find a forward fold. Inhale as you halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Palms can press against your shins or your thighs. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press into your feet, rise up, all the way up to standing, arms reach overhead. And exhale, draw your hands through heart center and release them by your side. We'll flow through that half sun salutation variation a few times, following your breath. So as you inhale, sweep your arms wide and high. Exhale, elbows bend, cactus your arms, open your heart. Inhale, reach up, lengthen up. And then exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Release your head. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. And exhale, fold back in. Inhale, press into your feet, sweep your arms all the way up overhead, palms meet. And exhale, release your hands through midline and by your side. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, elbows bend, cactus your arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge at your hips and find a forward fold. Inhale as you halfway lift, lengthen crown to tailbone. And exhale, fold in. Inhale, reverse swan dive, sweep your arms all the way up overhead. And release, drawing hands through center and by your side. One more like that. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, bend your elbows, cactus your arms. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine as you halfway lift. Exhale, fold into yourself. Inhale once more, press into your feet, rise all the way up, palms meet. And exhale, release hands through heart center and by your side. Inhale, arms sweep overhead. This time just straight exhale, hinge at your hips and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And as you exhale, plant your palms and step your left foot back. Soften your left knee down to the earth. And inhale as you sweep your arms up overhead. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust my... So you're in a low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Maybe sinking into that front knee and coming out. Playing with the depth of your pose. Fingertips reaching up as your shoulders draw away from your ears. So inhale, reach up. And as you exhale, release your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. And then with the inhale, draw your knuckles down and reach your chest up towards the sky. Breathing here, finding some softness within the effort. Release the grip of your hands. Inhale, sweep your arms back up, low lunge. Keeping your left hand lifted, reach your right arm back and down, and it'll land somewhere on your leg or even your back. Reach your left arm up and then twist over to the right. So an exalted low lunge is what I guess this is called. Your gaze can stay lifted or you can look down to your right. And then keeping the twist with your body, bring your left palm to the inside of your right foot. Reach your right arm up to the sky. Opening up to the right. And then turn both sets of your toes to the right and sink your left hip to the earth. Coming into this lounge lunge. You might have to play with where your hand is, You can also come down into your forearm. Should be feeling a little bit of a stretch on your outer right hip. And then slowly press in to unravel yourself. Coming back into a low lunge. Lift off your back knee and step your left foot to meet the right at the top of your mat. Inhale to find a halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep your arms, stand all the way up, palms meet overhead. And exhale, release your hands to heart center. And staying upright, step your right foot back and turn your toes to the wide edge of your mat. Turn your toes out and your heels in. And inhale, sweep your arms up. As you exhale, draw hands through midline and bend your knees, sinking down into goddess pose. Maybe swaying in your hips a little bit. Or just coming into stillness, keeping a slight tuck in your tailbone so your spine stays long and lifted. And then place your hands on the inside, top and inside of your thighs. Press into your thighs to open your knees and lengthen your spine. Take a deep inhale here. And as you exhale, drop your right shoulder, look over your left. Inhale will bring you back to center. And exhale, drop your left shoulder, look over your right. Inhale back to center. Flow through this one more time. So almost like you're wringing out the wash rag of your spine. Once you find yourself back in center, sweep your arms up as you press into your feet, straighten your legs. Turn your heels out, toes in, so now your feet are parallel. And then exhale, hinge at your hips as you draw hands through heart center and forward fold. Placing your palms on the earth. Drawing your head towards the earth. Release your neck. And inhale to find a halfway lift. Stay low. And as you exhale, bend into your left knee. Keep your right leg straight. Skandasana. Inhale yourself back to center. And exhale, bend your right knee, straighten left leg. So just like we did kind of with the shoulder dips, inhaling to center and then exhale to the other side. Flowing here with your breath. We will visit this again later on in practice. So if you want to keep your feet planted so the outer edges of your feet are planted, you can also bring your toes up. But just for variation, I would recommend to do one variation and then the other so you can feel the difference in your hip stretch. Next time you bend into your left knee, stay. And just take a quarter turn to the front edge of your mat. Soften your right knee to the earth. And inhale, sweep your arms overhead. So same thing on the other side, maybe coming in and out of this low lunge, sinking into your hip, and then backing off. Maybe you find a back bend. With your next inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, release your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, maybe finding the opposite non-dominant grip this time. Inhale, draw knuckles down, reach heart towards the sky, and breathe. Release the grip of your hands. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Keep your right arm lifted this time as you Sweep your left arm back and down. Let it land somewhere on your leg or your back. Press into your right arm, right fingertips. Lengthen left fingertips towards sky as you open to the left. Exalted low lunge. Your gaze can be down to your left side. And then keeping your arms as they are, but just tick-tocking them down so your your right palm plants to the inside of your left foot, and your right arm will sweep up, opening up to the left. Turning your toes to the left edge of your mat, sinking your right hip down, coming into a lounge lunge here. If you want to drop down into your forearm, and pressing back up, rewinding, coming into a low lunge at the top of your mat. Lifting off the back knee, step your right foot to meet your left. Inhale as you halfway lift, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale as you rise all the way up, arms sweep overhead, palms meet, and exhale, hands through heart center, and release by your side. Inhale as your arms sweep up. Exhale, hinge at your hips and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, this time plant your left foot back. Release your left knee to the earth. And bring your hands to the inside of your right foot. Wiggle your right foot out so it's on the outer edge of your mat. And then actually come up off of your back knee. So you're in a runner's lunge. We'll find a little bit of movement here before we drop in and settle in. So as you inhale, sink your hips and lengthen your spine. Bring your chest through your shoulders. And then exhale, press the ground away. Straighten-ish your front leg as you curl in. This little pulse here. Inhale as you drop your hips and lengthen. And exhale, press the ground away as you curl in, kind of like a cat pose. One more like that. Inhale, sink your hips. And exhale, curl in. This time as you sink your hips, you can soften your back knee all the way to the earth. Coming into a runner's lunge. We'll have a few minutes here, so this is really any variations that you want to take. You could even stay lifted on this back knee, or dropping down, widening your right toes, widening your right knee, maybe coming on down to your forearms. Wherever you are, just listening to what your body wants to do and how it wants to move. And then, if you'd like, you can also bend your back leg and reach your right arm around to grab for your foot, finding a quad stretch. And I always love if I have the quad stretch to give myself a little foot massage. It's an advanced variation. Deep breath in, and a deep breath out. Release any bind that you have. If you're on your forearms, walk yourself back up. Wiggle this right foot in between your hands, and then straighten your right leg, sink your hips back, coming into a half split. So as you inhale, drawing your chest forward, lengthening your spine. And then exhale, fold however much feels good. Typically we can't fold as far if our spine is straight, but the stretch feels a little bit more full. keeping your toes flexed. And start to bend into the front knee. Slowly walk your hands forward. Press into the ball of your back foot to lift your knee, and step your left foot to meet your right at the top of your mat. Inhale to find a halfway lift. Exhale to fold into yourself. Inhale, press into your feet, rise all the way up, arms reach overhead. And exhale, release your hands down midline to your heart center. This time again, stepping your right foot back, bringing your toes to face the wide edge of your mat, and then your heels come in and your toes out. Inhale as your arms sweep up. Exhale this time as you draw them through midline, bend your knees, and we'll find some movement with that. So as you inhale, your legs will straighten, your arms sweep wide and high. And exhale, draw everything in, bend your knees, ground down. Inhale, sweep up, straighten your legs. And exhale, sink in. Let's do one more like that. Inhale, get big. And exhale, sink in. This time as you inhale and sweep up, bring your heels out, toes in, so now your feet are parallel. Exhale as you hinge at your hips, find a forward fold. Settling here for just a few breaths. Let your head hang heavy. You want to grab for your big toes or the outer edges of your feet. Any variation that you'd like to take. With your next inhale, press into your palms and halfway lift. Exhale, bend into your left knee, Skandasana to the left. This time I would recommend maybe coming up onto your heels so your toes point to the sky. Just feels a little different in your groin and in your hip. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side, maybe rolling up on that heel. And then flowing here, a few breaths with your own movement, going however slow, however fast you want. If you just want to stop and hang out on one side, or any arm variations. And next time you come to the left, so next time your left knee is bent, take a quarter turn to the front of your mat. Widen your left foot, and your hands will be on the inside of your left foot. We'll sink down into runner's lunge in just a moment, but we'll find those little pyramid pulses first. So as you inhale, drop the hips, lengthen the spine. And exhale, press the floor away, straighten the front leg, curl in. Inhale, drop down, lengthen. Exhale, press and curl in. One more like that. Inhale and exhale. This time as you inhale and lengthen and drop your hips, lower that right knee all the way to the earth. And then we'll hang out here for a little bit, so any variation, any journey you want to have with your runner's lunge. This side might be totally different than the other side, so just take your time and breathe. Always roll into the outer edge of your left foot, even bending into the back knee, finding the quad stretch. Reach your left arm around. And again, advanced variation is the foot massage. If you have a grip, release. You're on your forearms, start to make your way up, press yourself up. Start to walk your left foot to the center of your mat, and then straighten your left leg, sink your hips back, half splits. So keeping this left foot super active, your left toes are drawing towards your shin. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and then exhale, pull your heart forward towards your toes. And let your neck hang heavy. And slowly bend into the front knee. Start to walk your hands forward. Press into the ball of your back foot to lift your knee. Step your back foot to the top of your mat. Inhale, we'll find a halfway lift. And exhale, fold into yourself. Inhale, root to rise as you press into your feet. Sweep your arms all the way up overhead. Palms meet. And exhale, release your hands by your side. Inhale as you sweep your arms up overhead. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift as you lengthen your spine. This time as you exhale, plant your palms and step both feet back, coming into plank pose, just for a minute. And then slowly start to bend your elbows, descending all the way to the earth. Untucking your toes, release your forehead to the mat. And then bringing your forearms in front of you, we're coming into Sphinx pose. So elbows either directly under your shoulders or slightly out in front. Placing your forearms and your palms on the earth. Fingertips spread wide. You're actively pressing down and then energetically drawing your forearms towards you. That should allow your shoulders to roll away from your ears and also a little bit of widening in your lower back. Breathing here. And keeping your chest lifted, if it feels okay on your neck, just let your neck release. And then maybe drawing your right ear to your right shoulder, and then left ear to left shoulder. Again, staying lifted in the chest, but just letting your head hang heavy. And then eventually drawing your head back up and coming out of the pose, laying your one palm on top of the other, and just let your forehead rest on your palms. Let your heels relax wide, maybe rocking your hips from side to side. And then bringing your right arm out to a T, laying your right cheek or your left cheek on the earth, making sure your arm is directly outside of your shoulder. Sorry, my kitty is distracting me. She's so cute. And then pressing up and rolling onto your right side, finding a shoulder stretch here. You can even plant your left foot on the outside of your right leg. Keeping your temple relaxed on the mat, temple or cheek. And then maybe finding some small or large movements with this top arm, or even finding a bind if that feels okay. Or just breathing wherever you are. And then slowly start to peel yourself up back to center, belly resting on the earth. And bring your left arm out to a T, directly out from your shoulder. And then press yourself up, rolling over into the left side of your body. Right sole of your foot can plant on the earth outside of your left leg if that feels okay. And then maybe play with this top arm or not. And slowly unravel, bringing yourself back to center. Bringing your hands under your shoulders, press yourself up through tabletop, and sink your hips back to your heels for child's pose. Continuing to breathe deep, breathing slow. And then when you're ready, slowly press yourself up to a downward facing dog. And with your inhale, sweep your right leg up and back. Maybe open your hip. And then we'll find pigeon pose. So drawing your right shin up to the front of your mat, letting it land. And it doesn't have to be parallel to the front edge of your mat. So just settling in where it feels comfortable and sustainable. You can also put a blanket or a pillow under your right sitting bones just for some more support. So staying upright, or if you'd like to fold, press into your fingertips first to lift and lengthen your spine, and then keeping all of that length as your heart and forehead descend to the earth. And we'll be here for about a minute, which I know could sound really awful or like the greatest thing in the world. So just try not to check out of your body. Just use your breath as a tool for exploration. Slowly, if you're folded, start to press yourself up. Making your way back to a downward facing dog. And anything that you need to kind of neutralize your right hip to come back into balance. Maybe opening your hip again. Maybe child's pose. When you're ready, sweep your left leg up and back. And then exhale, draw your shin up towards the front of your mat, top of your mat. Let it land, sinking your hips down. Maybe placing a pillow under your left sitting bone. Staying lifted or folded. But if you'd like to fold, first find length by pressing into the earth and reaching up. And then exhale as you descend and release to the ground. Just taking this time to see how much can you notice within your body, within your breath, within your mind. There's always so much going on, but we don't have to let it overwhelm us. We can be curious about it and just use a exploratory reference frame of mind. And slowly start to pick yourself back up, pressing palms into the earth. Coming once more into downward facing dog, and whatever you need to do to neutralize your hips, come into balance. We didn't take really any vinyasas in this class today, so if you're itching for one, maybe move through a really slow vinyasa. And we'll meet in Bakasana on our seats. So coming onto your seat, bringing the soles of your feet together, let your knees fall wide. This is also a good opportunity if you have pillows or blocks, you can put them under your knees. Taking a moment here to inhale, lengthen your spines. Tailbone presses into the earth as your crown lifts up. And then exhale with as flat of a back as you can. Just start to fold forward. Wherever the limit is for you for a flat back, pause. Take a few breaths there. And then just start to round your back and let your head drop and hang heavy. Continuing to breathe deep and slow. Slowly start to roll yourself up. Bring your hands to the outer edges of your knees. And bring your knees together. Planting the soles of your feet onto the earth. And then slowly roll yourself down. All the way onto your back. Hugging your knees into your chest. Maybe rock from side to side. Plant your soles of your feet on the earth. Widen your feet so they come to the outer edges of your mat, and then just let your knees fall together. Keeping the lower part of your body exactly as it is, drop your knees over to the right. If you'd like, you can place your right foot on top of your left thigh, using it as a little bit of an anchor. And then I'd also invite you to reach your left arm up overhead, lay it along the earth above your head, and rest your right hand somewhere on your body. If your right ankle is hooked, go ahead and unhook. Inhale, bring your knees back to center slowly. And then exhale, let your knees fall to the left. This time, if you'd like, placing your left ankle on top of your right knee or thigh. And then reaching your right arm up overhead, letting your left hand fall somewhere on your body. And unhook your left foot, drawing your knees back to center. And then this is where that block or pillow or blanket will come in handy. If you have a block, put it, I would recommend, on the lowest setting. But whatever you have, just press into the soles of your feet, lift your sitting bones, and place your support under your sacrum. And once it's there, lengthen your legs long, if it feels comfortable and okay. And then almost just like a shavasana, let your toes go wide, your arms lay by your side. Scan your body for any tension. Mine always hides in the outer edges of my eyes. So just softening your eyes and your brows. We did a lot of work for our hip flexors today, so just to lengthen them and give them a little bit of a passive stretch. And while you rest here, I just want to read something that came into my awareness a couple weeks ago, and I've pretty much been reading it every day since, so I just want to share it. It's by Mark Nepo, and it's from the Book of Awakening. And I think it's a poem, although it's not written like one. We waste so much energy trying to cover up who we are, when beneath every attitude is the want to be loved, and beneath every anger is a wound to be healed, and beneath every sadness is the fear that there will not be enough time. When we hesitate in being direct, we unknowingly slip something on, some added layer of protection that keeps us from feeling the world. And often, that thin covering is the beginning of a loneliness, which, if not put down, diminishes our chances of joy. It's like wearing gloves every time we touch something. And then, forgetting we chose to put them on, we complain that nothing feels quite real. Our challenge each day is not to get dressed to face the world, but to unglove ourselves so that the doorknob feels cold and the car handle feels wet and the kiss goodbye feels like the lips of another being, soft, and unrepeatable. So you can stay in the pose for Shavasana, or if you'd like to just lift yourself up enough to release whatever support you're laying on, and then let your spine lay back long. And then completely releasing into the moment of Shavasana, of surrender. Take a deep breath, filling up your body, bringing awareness back inside your skin. Wiggle your fingers and your toes, wrists and ankles, slowly making your movements larger, but staying slow and soft. Maybe reaching your arms up overhead for a full body stretch. And hugging your knees into your chest. Roll over onto either side. Resting for just a moment. Feeling the support of the earth. Feeling the support of yourself. Holding yourself. Keeping your eyes closed, slowly press yourself up to a comfortable seat. I invite you to bring your palms together in front of your heart, Anjali Mudra. Just taking a moment to honor the time that you've spent with yourself on your mat. Every time we come to ourselves and be with ourselves in an intentional way, it helps with that ungloving. It helps us connect to the essence and the trueness of who we are. Then we can show up for our brothers and sisters like that, with no masks and no gloves. Take one round of breath together to honor our time. Deep inhale, fill up. And exhale, release. slowly blinking your eyes open, taking in your surroundings. And thank you guys so much for practicing, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful weekend.